This next piece is going to be talking about the line of best fit. And what we mean by that is we're going to take and draw a line that is going to best help us. Let me change my color so I have something for you. We're going to make a line that best fits. And what we mean by that is it's going to go through as many data points as possible. And the points that it cannot go through when we make this line are what's going to end up happening is we are going to have as many, an equal number of points above the line as below the line. So as you can see here, we are looking at year after 2000, and the reason why we did that is so that way we aren't having to write 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006. We can just write the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to help us out. And over here, as you can see, we scrunch down the line so we don't have to worry about 0 to 33, because as you can see, that doesn't really play much of a factor. And we went up, as you can see, we said in thousands for the population, so we aren't having to write all those zeros. So now if I go ahead and make this line, I'm seeing that I go right about here. I've got, as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3 points below the line. This one, and this one. And we got 1, 2, 3 points above the line. And so that keeps it pretty well balanced. And so I'm going to get rid of these markings I just made. And if we look here, I now need to, I've drawn my line of best fit. Now we need to write an equation for this. To write the equation, we need 2 points. And I'm going to go with, I can see here that I've got here at, I see right here, 434 as a good point to use. And I see also that I've got a line point here, which falls at 1036. So now, if you recall, when we talk about this, we want to first find my slope, which if you remember is the change in y over change in x. This is a great review for what's coming up on our final in a few weeks. And so when I find my change in y, that's going to be 36 minus 34 over my change in x, which is 10 minus 4. There I get 2 over 6, which is 1/3 for my slope. Now, if you recall, we go ahead and use point slope form. Point slope form, if you recall, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where we fill in that y1 and that x1. So if I go ahead and do that, I'm going to have y minus 34 is equal to 1/3 times x minus 4. And remember, if I had chosen to, I could have used the order pair 1036, but I chose to use this one because it has smaller values, which is probably going to make my life a little bit easier. So if I go ahead and do that, I have y minus 34. First I'm going to distribute that 1/3 to the x and to the minus 4, which gives me 1/3 x. And when I take and I get 4/3, oops, shouldn't be minus, that should just be minus, not equals. And so then I need to add 34 to both sides. And when I do that, I get y equals 1/3 x, and negative 1 and 1/3 plus 34 is going to give me plus 32 and 2/3. So now we need to use that to predict the population of Cottage Grove in 2025. Now if you recall, we said years after 2000, which would be our x value, which would here in this case be 25. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute into my equation y equals 1/3 times 25, because that's my x, or number of years past 2000, plus 32 and 2/3. Now I know that 1/3 times 25 is 8 and 1/3, plus 32 and 2/3. Well, 8 plus 32 is 40, 1/3 plus 2/3 is 1. So I get 41, and then because if you recall up here, this is in thousands, therefore I can go ahead and simply put 3 zeros on the end to say that in 2025, cottage gross population will be at 41,000 based upon this line of best fit. Now the last piece that we're going to talk about here is causation, and determining whether the data first would have a positive, negative, or no correlation, and then determine if there's a causal relationship, if one variable causes the other variable. So our first one that we have here is talking about, at a sandwich shop, the amount of turkey sold and the amount of ham sold. Now I know typically if you're going to be eating turkey, you're not going to be eating ham. So I'm going to say that as the amount of turkey increases, the amount of ham is going to decrease of what we're selling. This would mean that we have here a negative relationship or negative correlation. Now, I want to say that this is also causal because to me, as that ordering one or the other is going to be a causal relationship because ordering turkey is going to cause you to not buy ham or vice versa. Now looking at this second one, a car's speed and its stopping distance. Well, I know from driving, and many of you who are going through driver's ed know, that as you increase your speed, the greater the distance you're going to need for stopping, therefore making this a positive correlation or a positive relationship. And I would also say that this one is also causal. And I'm going to mark down here that faster speeds cause increased stopping distance. Because the faster you go, the more distance you need to stop, which is why you should not tailgate on the highway. Now for this last one, the GPA compared to the amount of TV watched per week. Now some of you might be going, I don't see any relationship, but chances are that the higher your GPA, the amount of TV that you watch per week is probably less because you're probably spending more time studying. Therefore, this I would say is a negative correlation. Now, one thing you have to be careful about is that correlation does not imply causation, because just because they have a positive or negative relationship does not mean that one causes the other to happen in a particular way. There could be another variable that causes that to be the case. So I'm going to say that this one is not causal because your high GPA does not imply or cause, your high GPA is not going to cause you to watch less TV. Because it's more of what would be causal is an increase in studying time causes an increased GPA, and an increased study time conversely causes a decrease, or inversely causes a decrease in TV watching. So that is a case where the correlation does not imply causation because there is a third variable that is causing that to be the case. Here are your you-try problems that you need to go ahead and try for tomorrow. Please be aware that C is talking about B. So please be aware of that.